based on the way fall camp is playing out so far, and we are only 17 days away from starting the season, can you give me a breakout player on Miami's roster for 2023?
Well, there's a million of them. I don't know what you call a breakout player. Are you talking about somebody who was here last year?
It could have been here last year. Could be a new guy, but someone who maybe people haven't talked about enough, under the radar, and you think is going to have a dynamic, impactful season.
All right. My pick is not somebody who's under the radar. He's on the radar. He's at the pinnacle of the radar. But I break his career down into 4 quarters. The first quarter was the year before last. The first half of the season, horrific. The second half, incredible. Last year, the third quarter, which is the first half of last year, horrible. And the second half, horrible. So 3 out of 4 quarters in the last 2 years, I'm looking at it, Tyler Van Dyke.
Okay.
Breakout player of the year, because if he does really, really well, he could elevate himself from where he was at the end of 2 seasons ago, back up there, or maybe even higher. He's my breakout player. He's going to make us or break us. And I think he's going to make us. And that's why I think we have a shot at 8 or 9 wins this year, because of him. If he doesn't play well, I don't care who else does well. It's not going to matter. It just doesn't matter. If there were 6-6 again, you could have somebody catch 50 balls for 1,000 yards. So what? To me, he's the only breakout player if he does really well. If he does average, we're in trouble.
Yeah. No, it's such a good choice. I think people are going to be very pleasantly surprised with Van Dyke this year. Again, we got to see what happens in the games that count, but I saw really good stuff from him in the scrimmage, Bruce, and especially connecting with his top wide receivers, right? Because it looks as though the 3 starting receivers, kind of who we've expected, Colby Young, Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, he connected with all 3 of them on at least one big play on Saturday in the scrimmage. So those connections are looking like they're there. We know he loves the new offense because it's a lot closer to the one that he thrived in a couple of years ago. And I think he's going to love his pass protection. You know, a lot of that is just going to be on how healthy can the offensive line stay, because I think they've got some depth at tackle, especially if Zion is healthy enough to play at some point. They're a little bit thinner on the interior, right? Because, you know, the drop off from Matt Lee to Lou Cristobal, you know, Mario's nephew, I think that's let's
not talk the injuries. You know what else helps Van Dyke?
What?
You saw it the other day, those running backs, Allen and Fletcher. Wow. So if these guys are now getting respected, that they're not stacking the box, they're going to have big years. If they stack the box, they're going over the top. This guy is a gunslinger, not Van Dyke, but the offensive coordinator. I think that could help them. And I said the first or second week, they have the potential, with the offensive line getting better, to score 35 to 40 points a game. I'm sticking to that. I think the key to this team is going to be their defense.
Yeah. Well, my breakout player is going to be a running back. And I could go a couple of different directions with this, but I'm going to go with Ajay Allen, because I think more people, rightfully so, are talking about Mark Fletcher, because we're all aware of his high school exploits at American Heritage. And so I want to go with Ajay Allen, because for Miami fans, this young man from Louisiana just came over from Nebraska. He's not as known by the fan base, but Bruce,
he's good.
He's really good. And the way that, you know, I know that at the time when Miami got him in the transfer portal, and not a whole lot of people knew a lot about him down here, I know the coaching staff was really high on Allen, and everything I've seen from him in fall camp, he's living up to it, and he's exceeding those expectations. This guy, he's got the pure breakaway speed at running back. That
he doesn't have the experience here, but he's better than who's ever in front of him. He's just,
I think so.
He may be the starter. He's that good,
right? I think the only guy that might end up being better than him is Fletcher. Like I don't think Parrish, Chaney, or, you know, Johnson, or maybe Citizen, when he comes back fully healthy, has an opportunity. But I honestly, this Ajay Allen, he's got the vision, he's got the cuts, he's got the breakaway speed. Right, he's got the ball. No one's catching this guy from behind. Yes,
he can catch the ball too. He's an all-purpose back. He's an every down back.
Yeah,
you know, and they're going to use Fletcher in short yardage until he gets more comfortable. But then he's going to be in there too. And the guy on the outside looking in is going to be Chaney probably.
Yeah. Yeah, but this Ajay Allen, he was one of the outstanding players in the scrimmage. Like he broke off, and I don't have the official yardage stats on the runs, but it was about a 45, 50 yarder and a 25 yarder that he broke off in that scrimmage. This guy looks like the real deal. So I'm going with that. So that's
Okay.
so
Two
yeah.
good picks.
Yeah, yeah.
Two offensive players.